Hello, sports fans. Welcome to the OU Football Preview Show. I'm Rick Heath, with me Mark Rogers, and we are at Coach's Corner. Lindsay and Barry here in Norman. A great place to come where you can watch OU football, former players, your fans, and friends here at Coach's Corner. And don't forget, they have game day buckets of Bud and Bud Light. Mark, it is here. Red River Rivalry. That's the last time I will say it because I've been practicing.
Yeah, you did it well.
So Red River Rivalry here, OU Texas. Texas comes in as number one. First time since 1983. Is that correct? Somewhere around there.
In this game.
In this game, yeah. Is this game?
Yeah, it should be a fantastic game. It's always the most fun on the schedule. The atmosphere environment of the Cotton Bowl is unique and special, and really it's anyone's guess as to what can happen. You can analyze a lot of things, but sometimes these games just don't go as anticipated.
Well, and just exactly that. I mean, as fans, we analyze, we talk about it, we move, things around. If we do this, if we do that, but you never know until it kicks off down there on the floor of the Cotton Bowl exactly how it's going to happen.
Yeah, and it looks like both teams are going to have young quarterbacks starting the game. It looks like Arch Manning for Texas, Oklahoma's going to have Mike Hawkins.
Ewers decided he's not going to be able to play because he said earlier today he was going to.
Well, then if Ewers plays, I mean, it depends. He's got an injury that has been kind of nagging, and Texas has a really good option as their backup quarterback in Arch Manning. I think it does definitely help Texas if Ewers plays because of the experience of having played in the game before.
In that case, Ewers, I hope you're hurt. I hope you don't get to play. I'd love to see Arch Manning and have OU's defense go up against Arch Manning.
Yeah.
What a good scenario.
Hey, Arch Manning's a heck of a player, so it'd be a challenge for the OU defense. They're going to have to play well in this game for OU.
Either one. The reason why I'd like to have Ewers is because he has getting a little bit of pressure. He has the tendency sometimes to throw it up, and that's what OU, I think, is going to need in order to succeed on Saturday is maybe some turnovers. Hey, we are at Coach's Corner. Lindsay and Barry here in Norman. Great place to come by, watch all your favorite sporting events, and especially OU football. You can watch it with former OU players, OU coaches, fans, and your friends here at Coach's Corner. If you're worried about things about your body that you may be feeling bad, or you have some things that you want to check out, go to Halo Body Scan on 3400 West Hefner Road in Oklahoma City. Skip the overpriced and endless test. Halo Body Scan offers one comprehensive body scan at a fair price and no pressure for extra tests. Take control of your health with Halo Body Scan. Find out about your body's health today. Give them a call, 477-1100. That's 405-477-1100. Hi, friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away. All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites. Morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam. You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Come see Paul at the Mattress Place. He is Sooner born and wants to take care of his fellow Oklahomans. The Mattress Place has a nice queen pillow top mattress starting as low as $299 and kings for only $399. They carry Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and much more. The Mattress Place has a large selection and fast delivery. Located between Penn and Western on Southwest 59th Street. Buy your groceries in your neighborhood, but buy your mattresses at the Mattress Place. And welcome back, OU Football Preview Show. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Coach's Corner here in Norman, Lindsay, and Barry, where they have game day buckets of Bud Light and Bud on sale here every game day. And that's Sundays too. Sunday NFL football is a lot of fun. Monday night football. Hey, we have football every night now.
That's right. There's no days without football.
There are no days.
Tuesday night games
we got
on
Tuesday
ESPN.
night, Wednesday night.
Yeah, that's good.
You can come down here to Coach's Corner and enjoy. there's a couple of things, about the game that you look at, and strength on strength. When OU played Tennessee, it was strength on strength, and it was basically OU's defense against Tennessee's offense. And I see that kind of unfurling the same way with OU and Texas. OU's defense is obviously their strength, and it looks like with whichever quarterback, Ewers or Arch Manning, it seems to be the Texas strength also.
Well, Texas lost a lot on defense to the NFL draft, especially 2 guys up front. But hey, let's look at Texas defense. What have they not done well through this portion of the schedule? I mean, they played well at Michigan, and so this defense is pretty good. I think this is very much a similar test to what Tennessee was like for OU, and that both sides of the football are going to be a real big challenge. So, Texas has played really good football the last 2 seasons. Went on the road and won at Alabama. Obviously, they made the college football playoff. They won the Big 12 championship last year with relative ease against Oklahoma State. And everybody keeps asking the question, is Texas, are they really back this time? Are they really going to be competitive for a long stretch? We're talking about they've played really good football for a season and a half now. And so they were ahead of the curve on NIL, doing some things with the offensive line. And look at how many teams around the country are having offensive line issues. I mean, that's clearly an issue at Oklahoma, but Texas is in good shape.
Texas got a solid
Banks,
line.
One of the top tackles in the college football game.
And as high as Texas is rolling, okay, as high as they're rolling, they're number 1 in the country and all that. OU is still won 5 of the last 6 Red River rivalries. Mm-hmm. So I mean, OU has been able to handle Texas, maybe not at the full strength Texas is now, but last year Texas came in as a pretty good. Well, they were a favorite. It's not a 14-point favorite.
No, and Texas has had the advantage all time in this rivalry, but Oklahoma's cut into it. If you go back to 2000, this series they met once in the Big 12 championship game too. Oklahoma's won 16 out of 25. Yeah. That's a pretty good stretch for OU. And you mentioned 5 out of 6. So, OU's done something right in this rivalry here recently.
Well, and OU also has got the best winning percentage against top 5 teams in the nation. So, going back to 2000, like you said. So, OU is used to these big games. Now, going into this one, who knows? But both teams are coming in off a bye. First time that's happened. So, what do you think OU learned in that bye week?
So, I think that they probably tried to figure out, okay, we've seen Michael Hawkins play. Now, what are some things that we could potentially do to give him some confidence in this game? They really had a very limited offense at Auburn. 6 players touched the ball on offense. There were deep shots, then there was a lot of running game and a little bit of quarterback run game thrown to the tight ends when they're in. So I think that they have some time to put in some new wrinkles and try to find some things that really work for Michael Hawkins and not necessarily just an OU offense in general.
Well, that's one thing I was looking at as the downtime to be able to refocus on what he does well, what the offense does well with him running the quarterback because he's now the guy, and taking out what maybe was cluttering up the offense and now run things that he feels good about and that they have put in especially for this. The second thing is the offensive line's got to be better, having that week to get a little bit more cohesion and maybe a little bit better health.
I hope so.
You got to hope that.
No, I mean, I think the scheme can do some things to help the offensive line block. They don't have a whole lot of success in the interior zone plays, maybe a little bit more on the exterior, the outside zone, because the running backs can read. And OU's got some good running backs. So, hopefully Tatum will be back for OU. That helps. Hopefully Deion Burks. I'm not so sure about that, but having those guys back. That
would be the biggest difference is if Deion Burks can get back so that he presents that underneath easy target for Michael Hawkins because, taking those deep shots, they look good, but you're only going to get about a third of those, maybe a third of those completed.
Taylor Tatum is a Texas kid. I mean, Deion Burks is new to this rivalry, but I'm sure he's kind of heard what it's all about and stuff like that. If there's any doubt if you could go, I mean, I would think probably, guys back in the day when Corey played and people like that, they probably cut their pinky toe off to get out there and play in the Cotton Bowl. So it'd be disappointing if those guys are questionable and then don't make it out there.
Do the Ronnie Lott thing. Go ahead and take the top of my finger off, Doc. I want to go back out.
Yeah, that's right. Those days are gone.
They are gone. Far in the rearview mirror. Hey, we are at Coach's Corner, and you too can come by and have this much fun at Coach's Corner on Lindsay Berry in Norman. We'll be right back. If you're worried about things about your body that you may be feeling bad, or you have some things that you want to check out, go to Halo Body Scan on 3400 West Hefner Road in Oklahoma City. Skip the overpriced and endless test. Halo Body Scan offers one comprehensive body scan at a fair price and no pressure for extra tests. Take control of your health with Halo Body Scan. Find out about your body's health today. Give them a call, 477-1100. That's 405-477-1100. Hi, friends. Did you know that over 80 million men and women suffer from hair loss? Well, now there's help. Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light Skin Clinic are introducing a revolutionary laser hair loss treatment called Alma TED. Alma TED uses a proprietary laser that will help stop hair loss and promote growth. For more information, give Dr. Victoria Johnson and her staff at Laser Light a call and stop hair loss today.
You are the most beautiful creation under the sun. Daily Informations. You are going to make Table 14 so happy. And you are being taken away.
All right. At Neighborhood Jam, you deserve breakfast as beautiful as you. So start the day right with scratch-made favorites, morning or midday, every day. Treat yourself to Neighborhood Jam.
You're gonna taste just as good tomorrow.
Come see Paul at the Mattress Place. He is Sooner born and wants to take care of his fellow Oklahomans. The Mattress Place has a nice queen pillow top mattress starting as low as $299 and kings for only $399. They carry Tempur-Pedic, Sealy, and much more. The Mattress Place has a large selection and fast delivery. Located between Penn and Western on Southwest 59th Street. Buy your groceries in your neighborhood, but buy your mattresses at the Mattress Place. And welcome back, OU Football Preview Show. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Coach's Corner, where you can come and have the fun. Also, each and every night, there's football all this month. You can come and enjoy football, friends, and family here at Coach's Corner. And Brown Shoe Fit Company here in Norman. Great place to come and get your shoes for the whole family, whether it's ladies fashion wear, men's dress wear, or kids all around wear. Brown Shoe Fit on Main Street in Norman is a great place to come and get all the top brand names. All that you're looking for, ladies, in fashion is at Brown Shoe Fit. Men for your dress shoes, casual shoes, and running shoes. And kids, anything that you need to wear out, you can get at Brown Shoe Fit in Norman. All right, let's talk about the defense, Mark. OU's strength, obviously, is the defense. I see the defensive, their marching order, so to speak, is to make whoever is quarterback uncomfortable.
Well, the OU defense, I thought, played well in this game at times last year. They had the big interception right off the beginning of the game. They had a goal line stand where their guys played well up front. I think that defensive front has played good football this season. They really have. Across the front, those defensive linemen have controlled the line of scrimmage. So that's a big key. Danny Stutzman's been struggling a little bit lately. Hasn't been quite making as many plays and as many tackles. I'm sure he'll be fired up for this game and ready to go. So they could use his help a little bit there. And then the defensive backs, how they play individually, will matter quite a bit in this game.
Well, now Texas lost their top 3 receivers and their top 2 running backs. So their elite difference makers aren't quite as elite, even though they're very strong and they're very good because they're Texas.
Yeah.
But at the same time, that gives OU's defensive backs a little bit more of an edge because instead of going up with Xavier Worthy, who's playing for the Kansas City Chiefs now, they've got somebody else in there that was, maybe not quite that caliber of an athlete.
Yeah, I mean, Worthy is not a big guy, but he's definitely a speed guy that can really hurt you deep. And A.D. Mitchell last year, who's now playing in the NFL, also with the Indianapolis Colts, was another tough matchup. For Texas, they had a big tight end, Jatavian Sanders. He's playing with Carolina Panthers. So you're right, it's a new group of receivers. They're still really good at that position, but maybe not quite as good as they were a year ago.
And so that helps with the defensive backfield. And turnovers. To me, that's going to be the thing. You mentioned it earlier. OU got the turnovers early, kept their momentum up, gave them some momentum. And I look at this game as determine a lot on if OU can get turnovers off Texas.
Well, if you win the turnover battle, you're doing yourself a lot of favors. Oklahoma needed the turnover win at Auburn, I think, to get that to win that ball game. So that'll be big. You're right.
OU is 12-0 when they win the turnover battle. So that's, if they can win that, at least that doesn't guarantee it, but I will take a 12-0 turnover battle momentum all day long on that.
Yeah, no doubt.
But, you mentioned that the front seven for OU, they've got to control that. They can't let Texas power their way to a running attack where several years ago where we saw they were getting 5 and 6 and 7 yards, and then the big offensive lineman would push them another 5 or 6 or 7 yards. OU's defense can't let that happen this time.
Well, that hasn't happened to the OU defense yet this year. Teams have not just controlled the football running it. Even in the Tennessee game and even in the Auburn game, that wasn't the case. Now, teams have had some success running it and maybe a little bit of more success throwing the football. But that's the way the OU defense is geared, is to stop the run. So I think they'll do a pretty good job of that against Texas.
And a lot of it has to do with, towards the end of the game, R. Mason Thomas has been asserting himself. Yeah. I would like to see that start a little earlier if we need to, but he is a difference maker on the rush end.
Ethan Downs has played solid football this year too. I mean, he's undersized to me for the position that he's playing, but I think that he's played good football. If you're in there, John Terry, Grayson Halton, Dominic Williams, all those guys have played good.
They've played well, and like you said, Danny Stutzman is still Danny Stutzman. He hadn't been as outstanding as he's been in the past, but he's still Danny Stutzman. And Billy Bowman. Billy Bowman's always come up with a big play in these big games. I look for him to do the same thing, maybe this Saturday.
Yeah, that would be huge.
That would be huge, and that'll be a way for the Sooners to stay in this game until maybe Michael Hawkins can find something. And we'll talk about more on that later. But we are at Coach's Corner here in Norman, where you can come and watch OU football with former players, family, and friends, and get a Bud Light bucket all on sale here on Coach's Corner. We'll be right back. And welcome back. Final segment of OU Football Preview Show. Mark Rogers, Rick Heath from Coach's Corner here in Norman. Mark, there's as we talked about, there's so many things that happen in a game. But I want you to put your coach's hat on, if you would please, for me and for the viewers out there, and give us the 3 keys to OU winning this game.
All right, my first key is running the football, a rush offense. The team that has had more rushing yards has won, going back, I think, the last 30 years, have won 28. There was one year that they were dead even in rushing yards. There was a tie, and I think OU won that game that year. So rushing the football is important. Last year, Oklahoma came into this game. They weren't running the football very well, but in the fourth quarter, Dylan Gabriel had some big runs in that contest, and that was enough to push OU over the top. They won the rushing battle. They won the game. So you have to win the rushing battle. Now, that's going to be an uphill climb, especially in the offensive end for OU. I think that Texas defense is pretty good, and Oklahoma has not really shown that they're able to move people out of the way.
But when you say rushing the ball, not necessarily running backs.
No, it could be quarterbacks. It could be a reverse.
Michael Hawkins might be able to
well, last year it was the quarterback run game that Dylan Gabriel ran for 100 yards. Okay, so that's important, but I think OU has to figure out a way to pile up the rushing yards. Right. Secondly, OU is going to stop the Texas run, and we talked about, I think that the Sooner defense is designed to do that. So I think Brent's going to put the team in the best position they can to stop that. But when that happens, you see like what you saw at Auburn. I think we've got some food coming.
All right, here we go.
That's a triple-double?
A triple-double, all right. That's a looking burger there, bacon and mushroom, cheese.
I'm about to bring you top-selling wings here in a second.
All right, that wing. Ooh, I can hear them sizzling now. There we go. Thank you, sir.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
But that's going to put Oklahoma in a position where they've got some Texas receivers and a really, really good quarterback, no matter who lines up there, that's going to have some one-on-one spots with the OU quarterbacks. So OU defensive backs, they have got to bring it. They can't get beat over the top. They can't get pushed around like they did in the Auburn game. And so I think that you're going to really have to lean on those guys in the secondary to play one-on-one football and play it well. Then the third thing is Oklahoma has to have some receivers establish themselves. If Burks plays in this game, that helps a lot. We saw some deep shots to Brendan Thompson in the Auburn game. We saw a little bit with Hester to make some plays. He's had some drops, but he kind of showed in that game that he can play. But I think OU's been trying to throw to Bauer Sharp. They're trying to throw to the tight ends in certain sets, but the tight ends, it's really pretty easy to scheme those. Those guys aren't going to block. So when they're in the game, teams focus on covering them and passing, and that don't really provide the threat that a lot of other tight ends do. So wide receiver position, sometimes you have to make some plays for OU. So win the rushing battle, play good one-on-one defense in the secondary, and also have your receivers win some battles.
Have some wide receivers step up and be a part.
Yeah.
Now, I'm going to add something on there that doesn't get a lot of attention, but I think Coach Switzer, who you know well and
Sure.
work with, has always mentioned that's special teams. Now, special teams have shown that OU has, maybe if there's an edge in the three of them, maybe OU might have a slight edge in special teams with the way they punt the ball, the way they kick the ball, and the way that they've been covering kicks and punts. So maybe that can be an unsung part that can give OU a slight edge. And who knows? Maybe it's a field goal here at late in the deal and make it a win, or a block punt, or a punt run return, anything like that. But I look for special teams to also make a difference, and on top of what you just talked about.
Winning special teams can offset other categories. For example, in the Auburn game, Auburn missed field goals. Oklahoma made field goals, even with Zach Schmidt, who was kicking in a backup role. I mean, that took away from the fact that Auburn really almost had 300 yards passing in the first half. I mean, they couldn't score,
right?
Because those yards went to waste on a missed field goal at the end of the first half. So, gonna be fun. Can't wait.
I think Michael Hawkins is going to be, he doesn't know exactly what he's doing yet, and that's good news, bad news, because he's so young. He doesn't know. He's not going to get awed by the moment because he doesn't know any better, I don't think. And so I think Michael Hawkins will have a good game. He may not be able to have a great percentage of his passes, but I think he can get deep maybe with J.J. Hester or Thompson, and let Thompson come back and haunt the Longhorns. Yeah. That would be good.
Good storyline there.
Or maybe he breaks a 47-yard touchdown run that he's capable of doing. So I look for that. Michael Hawkins making a difference, and as you said, the defensive backs have to play good. The front seven have to control the run, and then you take your chances from there.
Yep.
I got it winning right here. OU 27-24.
All right. I like the score.
It's a field
right
goal.
There.
They
kick, bit of an upset.
They cook a field goal right there and win it, and they come back and beat a number one Texas, which it's always a sweet thing for OU to do. And if they can do it against number one Texas, it'll be even better. That's going to do it for this week's show. We'll be back next time, coaches. Well, we won't be from Coach's Corner, but we'll be back with the OU football preview show.